Hey everybody, welcome to the webinar. I wanted to thank you for taking time out of your day or night or whatever it may be for you in order to watch this. This is all going to be about this, how to take advantage of the Christmas buying frenzy using Facebook ads without losing money. I did a survey and it's pretty common, but one of the biggest fears people have about using Facebook ads is they're scared to lose money. So it's key that you don't do that. So just make sure you can hear me okay. If you need to turn your volume up, go ahead and do that. The goal for today is simply that, show you how you can profit from the Christmas frenzy using Facebook ads without losing money, and also I'm going to throw in without having any inventory of product to sell. So it sounds crazy, right? But it is possible. Now if you stay until the end, I do have something special for you. So please watch it all the way through. But real quick, who the heck are you, Will? Well, I'm not going to spend a lot of time about me. This is more about you. I just have 2 slides for you. That's me. That's my mug. I have 5 daughters. They're all H names, in case you're wondering. I live in London, Ontario, Canada, which is about 2 hours from Detroit. And I love helping people with my coaches and courses. I'm founder of PPC-Coach.com. Trained over 10,000 online marketers since 2007. I started way back in 2005 online, and I'm basically, as you can see by the gray in my beard, I'm a dinosaur in this world. There's a lot of young kids coming up, and they're younger and they're full of piss and vinegar, and I'm just one of the old guys. I'm 42 years old as of shooting this, so I'm one of the old guys. I know there's a couple of guys I've dealt with that are even older. Not dealt with, but even coached. So that's a good thing. There's me back in the day. That's a picture of my first big check. So going way back to November 23rd, 2005. The amount is hard to see, but I think if I squint really hard, it's $17,489.53. That's US dollars. I'm in Canada, so it's actually more for me. We didn't even have high resolution cameras back then, so that was taken on the old school one where you get the film developed and you send it in, so it's crazy. That was generating secured loan leads, so lead generation using Google AdWords back then, and then I used to sell them to the banks in the UK. So pretty cool, right? Now I focus on Facebook ads and I focus on selling physical products because it's just something that I like to do. The key is I'm not special, okay? Anyone can do this. Anyone that is motivated, anyone that takes action, anyone that seeks out guidance, they can do it. After doing this since 2005 online, I learned a couple things, and I'm going to talk about these 3 things on this webinar. Number 1, systems are vital. Number 2, doubt is the real enemy, okay, by far. Not that you don't know what you're doing, not the technical side, not anything else, doubt. That's the real enemy. So we're going to talk about that and cover it so that you don't have any doubt. And number 3, seeking successful people is key. I did this myself, and I'll tell you about that when I get to that part. So, the Christmas selling season is September, October, November, December, and they are by far the biggest revenue generating months of them all. So now's the time to act. You don't even need to have any inventory to make this work. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'll explain a little bit later. I discovered my whole system, my whole thought process, my whole everything. I discovered it all the hard way. Back in 2005 when I started, there wasn't much out there. There wasn't many courses, there wasn't masterminds, there wasn't mentors, there wasn't that going on because the business that I was in, it didn't really exist when I came out of university. And honestly, my university degree doesn't even apply to anything I do today, but that's a whole different story. So the key is you get to cheat and you get the easy way. How does that sound? Pretty good, right? So if you want the easy way to avoid costly mistakes, give me a yes sir in the chat box. Now I'll tell you what, Kanye, he approves of this. So today we're going to cover 3 things. Number 1, the exact system that I use daily in order to make all this work and to make money and to put food on the table and keep a roof over the head for my 5 kids and my family. Number 2, we're going to cover doubt as the real enemy. And number 3, seeking successful people is key. Now, if you have any questions, please post them in the PPC Coach Facebook group. It's free. You just go to Facebook, type my name in, PPC Coach. You'll see a page and a group. Join the group. It's right there. It's free to join. There's about I think we're getting close to 5,000 members in there now. So it's a big active group, and a lot of these guys speak the same language that you do. So it's very cool, because if you've ever tried to speak to your partner or your family or your friends about what you do online, you could actually see their eyes glaze over and them start to fall asleep as you try and explain it. But that's not what the people in the group do, because we know the language you're speaking, we understand it, we do it every day, so you can talk about things that you couldn't talk about with your friends and family. But enough of that. Let's dive right in there. Let's get into the exact system that I use. Okay, I'm going to teach it to you right now on the webinar. Everybody ready? Sound good? Good. There's a couple steps. Number one, research. This is where it all starts. If you think of this like a funnel, research is at the top of the funnel. So you want to find products that you want to test. You're going to use Google, you're going to use Facebook, you're going to use Pinterest, you're going to use spy tools. Basically what I do is I pick, say I'm in the cat niche, and I want to develop some cat hoodies or a cat necklace or a cat t-shirt or whatever it may be, or a cat shot glass or a cat canvas print. I'll go there and I'll type that in. So I'll go to Google, I'll type in cat canvas print or cat necklace or cat hoodie, and I'll start looking through the results, and I'll go to the images and look at the images, and then whenever I see a good one, I'll literally take a screenshot of it, and I have an idea folder on my computer for cat stuff, and in that folder I'll just save it. So I have a big database of designs, and whatever type of product I want to do for that niche is in that folder. And it's very cool, because it allows me to move forward to the next phase, which is design. So basically, once you have your research done and you have an idea of what you want to do, then you need to create a design. That's all you need. You don't need the physical product created, but you do need a design that you can put on the physical product, because we use a platform called Gearbubble. Gearbubble.com is the site. And what they allow you to do, they're a print-on-demand platform. You take the design that you have, you upload it to them, you select the product that you want to put it on, they'll create a sales page for you, they'll take the orders, they will actually print it on the product, they'll package it, they'll ship it, they'll handle customer service, and then you get paid from them. So they keep their cut for the cost of the product. Whatever difference you have between your ad costs and your revenue is your profit. Very simple. And it's very hands-off and awesome when you want to scale things. But let's go back to design. You have to create the design. You can use Photoshop, which is paid, and a very solid program. I use it every day in my business. Or you can use a program called, it's a funny name, but it's called GIMP. And it's basically a free version of Photoshop. Okay, so if you want to use those two tools, you certainly can, very easily. There's also, the ability to outsource this. So you can go to a place called Fiverr.com, you've probably heard of it, and you can type in cat t-shirt, and you'll get a bunch of designers that will do one up for like $5. Dirt cheap, easy to do. If you don't have any design skills or you don't want to learn it, then you can certainly go there and do it. Or you can go take it a step further and go to Upwork.com, and there you can actually hire a designer part-time or by design or full-time to do all your designs for you. But the key is you have to create your design for testing. I use this graphic design is my passion, as kind of it's ugly, right? But sometimes you'd be surprised when ugly works better than something super pretty. So I'm not going to go into the specifics of the design, because that's basically a 4-week course on its own. But the beauty of Photoshop and how I taught myself to do it was actually getting the program, and then I would go to YouTube and I would literally look up tutorials on Photoshop, and that's how I taught myself Photoshop. So you can do that with Photoshop, and you can do that with GIMP, and if you have even a little bit of technical ability, you can easily do this. Okay, the Photoshops are right, the videos are right there, and tutorials are there for every single thing you'd ever want to do. But let's move on to our next phase. Phase number 3, which is testing. So you've got your research done, you've got your design done. Now you want to test it before you actually go at it pretty hardcore. So what I do is I launch it on Gearbubble.com and I try to sell it. If I get a sale, I go to the next step. If I don't, I stop there and I do another test. And what I like to do is test, because the more testing I do, the more success I have. It's directly related. And you need to know a number here too. Approximately 28% of your tests are going to work. The other 72% are going to fail. Okay? You want to do this now because you want to save time, energy, and money. You have to see if your design is worth going to the next step, which is putting more of your time, more of your energy, and more of your budget into it. Some of them aren't, but that's okay, because we can always test more. And there is a lot of different designs that we can do from our research. So once you've tested, you found a winner, you're going to want to go to this phase, which is number 4, the launching phase. This is where we have to get traffic. And traffic is just people looking at your design, and we're presenting it to them in hopes that they will buy it. So here I'm talking about Facebook ads, okay? You can start small with these. You can do $5 per day, even running 5 ads. That's $25 per day total budget. You can start with more if you want to, of course, too. I have some campaigns that I start small. I have others that I start pretty big. Some are $100 per day per ad. Some are $300, some are $1,000. I've gone up to like $2,500 per day on some of mine. But I'm not just giving this money to Facebook as a donation. I'm actually getting more money back from my sales than I'm spending. That's the key to this. You want to be getting more money back than you're spending. So that way, if you gave me $1 and I gave you $2 back, you'd be wanting to give me a lot of dollars, wouldn't you? Well, that's the same way with Facebook. You have to spend money on ads in order to make money as far as sales go. And it's basically like turning on a tap. So I've simplified it quite a bit. There's a little bit more involved to it, but that's where you've got guys like me that can help with the figuring out Facebook part, because that's what I do for a living. So you've got it launched, it's running, you've got some ads running, it's getting sales. Now you want to go to this. You have to manage your campaigns. You can't just set them and forget them. Okay, I know a lot of online guys talk about setting it up one time and then going sitting on the beach and drinking margaritas and never lifting a finger again. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but that does not work. That's not how it works. So I love this meme. If everything could always go exactly as planned, that would be great. From Office Space, if you know. So here, it's quite simple really. We're just going to be, every day we're going to go in and we're going to pause any ad that isn't producing a positive result for us. So let's say you have a necklace, and let's say you're spending, you make $20 profit from Gear Bubble every time you make a sale. That means that you price it at $27.95, for example. Gear Bubble takes $7.95. That leaves you $20 in order to sell it. So your break-even number is $20. If you don't get a sale after $20 spent, you pause that ad. Okay? The key here too, just like with our testing and our designs, not every ad works. So you can't be afraid to pause the losers, because you can always go in and replace that with another test and another test ad in this case. So we can always be pausing and we can always be adding new ones, and that's how we manage this thing. But as we're managing it, we want to get to this stage, stage 6, which is scaling. So I love this one, Dave Chappelle. Got any more of them sales? So scaling simply means getting more sales. We want to create more ads, increase the budget on the winners, add more countries, create custom audiences, create lookalike audiences. Now that might sound like Chinese to you right now. Well, if you speak Chinese then it doesn't, but I'm going to explain it a little bit more. So creating more ads means if I have 5 ads going and I want to scale, I can simply create more. And I can do that through duplicating the existing ads, and Facebook allows me to do that. Or I can create new ones that target different people. Or I can increase the budget on the winning ads. So if it's at, say I started small and I started at $5 per day, well, I could increase it by 20 or 30% per day, every 24 hours, until I get to a pretty large amount. I can scale that way too. Once I've got that up and running, I can actually scale by adding more countries as well. So there's a lot of different ways to do that, and when you get into the more advanced stuff, you'll actually be creating custom audiences, and that is people who looked at your product, that's people who added your product to the cart, and that's people who bought your product. So when we're running ads, we don't really want to show ads to people who already bought our product. So we're going to exclude those people from our ads. There's a way to do that. Then Facebook takes it a step further, and it's getting a little technical, but there's something called a lookalike audience. So let's say we have a list of people who looked at our product, and we want to go take it a step further, and we want Facebook to create a list of people who look like people who looked at our page. That's called a lookalike audience. And then we can run ads to that as well. But basically the key here is what I talked about a little already. The more you spend, the more you can get back. Okay, you can also lose too, but we want to minimize our losses because the whole point of doing this is running these ads without losing money. So here's a question. Does a system like that sound like a good thing? I mean, there's definitely more to it than that, but I can't really go into every single detail on this webinar, but that is the system. That's it in a nutshell. Okay, does that sound like a good thing? Let's move on. Number 2, doubt is the real enemy. Okay, there's 3 reasons why that I put in this particular webinar. Number 1, people love to quit about 2 feet from the finish line. Okay, I love to use this image. I apologize if it's a little pixelated, but here's a guy, he's trying to get these diamonds over here. So he's digging, he's working away, and he can't seem to get there. He's got a long way to go. And then there's his buddy down below, and he's trying to get to the same diamonds, and look how much more he has to go. But he's quitting. He's turning back, he gives up, he can't do it, forget it. I see this all the time online, and it drives me nuts. People are just, they come out of the gate just raring to go, and then they get here and they go, well, no, the going got tough, so I quit. Well, that's not really the best way to go about it at all. So when you're running these campaigns and research and testing and designs and ads and managing and scaling, sometimes you're going to feel like this guy. You're going to want to quit, but never do that. Keep plowing forward. Eventually you'll hit the payday. That's the point of that. Here's another one. So Thomas Edison invented a light bulb, right? And they said it actually took him like 10,000 tries. And they asked him why he kept trying so hard, and he said, I didn't fail. I just found like 10,000 ways it doesn't work. So every time you fail, you're one step closer to a success. So I love this quote. I wish it were a little more high resolution, but many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. So going back to the previous picture, you can see how that certainly applies. So the key is, don't quit. The people who quit, they're just never going to go anywhere. They're going to be stuck in their job or stuck buying course after course after course after course, and it just doesn't work. So here's reason number 2 that doubt is a real enemy, and that has to do with our negative belief system. This is what we all have kind of embedded in us from childhood, and that starts with our parents telling us whether we can do things or whether we can't do things, and how we were brought up, and were we raised in a household with a single parent or 2 parents, and it starts early on, the negative belief system. So what I like to do is look at this, banishing negative beliefs. So instead of I can't do something, tell yourself I can. Instead of I shouldn't do something, tell yourself I should. Instead of it's impossible, just tell yourself it's possible. Now it's not that easy to do because we do have these things ingrained in us, and it can take years and years and years of therapy for some people to get through it, like myself, but we do want to get rid of those negative beliefs because they are a killer. They just don't help us at all. When you go through the emotional roller coaster that you're going to go through if you get involved with advertising online, you have to remember this. Your mindset is key. Okay, so eliminating doubt is one of the first steps. So reason number 3, doubt is the real enemy. It's a little thing called paralysis by overanalysis. And what we're talking about here is overanalyzing or overthinking. And that's a situation so that a decision or action is never taken. I've trained a lot of people over the years, and I've coached a lot of people over the years. And the ones that I found that are the most difficult are engineers. And if you're an engineer, I apologize, but engineers need things to be ones or zeros. So yes or no, A or B, there's no in between, there's no gray area. So it's very difficult for them to make marketing work and having the creativity side flow when it's directly related to marketing, because they want to analyze and they want, okay, if I do step 1, then step 2 in my flow chart has to be here, then step 3, step 4, step 5. And it's like their brain works like a computer program, which is awesome because engineers do great things, but in this business, it's not the best way to be. I am a big fan of what's called imperfect action. You'll see in this webinar that I screw up. I make spelling mistakes. Some of my designs sometimes I've launched with spelling mistakes and didn't even notice till people told me in the comments on Facebook. It happens. But I would rather do imperfect action than no action at all. Okay? And I would rather take action because that makes me feel better than doing nothing. So if I sat there and I tried to analyze from A to B, A to Z, how to get something to work on Facebook, I'd never make a sale. Sometimes just throwing stuff out there in a controlled manner works best. Okay? But imperfect action is how you defeat analysis paralysis. So do any of these sound familiar? You're probably nodding your head right now. You're not alone, but they can be conquered through some of the tips that we talked about. So the third thing I want to talk about is, the third secret, is seeking successful people is key. Okay, now when I started in this business, I was working in a call center for TD Ameritrade, and I took the night shift so that I could try and figure out how to make money online. This was way, way back in like 2005 actually. And I found somebody, and he was a guy who was generating those secured loan leads that I showed you in one of those pictures at the beginning. And he took me under his wing, and he showed me how he was doing it with Google AdWords. And I had to learn how to program. I had to learn how to do HTML and PHP and all this programming stuff that really helped me, and I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed the challenge of trying to find somebody who needed a loan, showing them an ad, getting them to go to my website, fill out a form, taking that information and selling it through my mentor to UK, United Kingdom, banks and secured loan companies. So it was awesome. I'll tell you though, I owe where I am today to him, because without him, I never would be online, because I wouldn't have been introduced to it, and I wouldn't have been shown the way. So I really credit him quite a bit with everything, and I've sought out more successful people along the way too. I still do today. I still buy courses. I still talk to mentors. I haven't really attended masterminds, but I probably should. Events are great because you meet new people and you learn new things. And any golden nugget that you can get is a benefit. So seeking out successful people that are doing what you want to do is the perfect way to succeed. So here's a question for you. Along that same line, why do professional athletes have coaches? So I get a lot of responses to this. And typically it's like, well, they need some guidance, they need accountability, they need to make sure their mindset's right. And it's absolutely true. So I always use Tiger Woods, but back in the day when Tiger was the #1 golfer in the world, he had a swing coach. This swing coach, his job was to make sure that Tiger was swinging the club right. Isn't that crazy? LeBron James, one of the best basketball players on the planet, has a coach. And he's got more than one. He's got like a weightlifting coach, a diet coach, his coach on his team, Tyronn Lue, although whether he's a coach or not, or a puppet, is another thing. But think of that, like some of the greatest athletes, well, every athlete, not even the greatest ones, they all have coaches. And thinking back to Tiger Woods, you think Tiger Woods' swing coach could beat him in a round of golf? No, he doesn't have the rest of the skills. He's got a very specialized skill, but he doesn't have the rest of them. Do you think LeBron James's coach could beat him in a game of basketball? No way. And here's where I told you I make spelling mistakes. So there you go. There's my first one. So it's just not, professional athletes have coaches for a reason. NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, you get the point. Everybody. Even tennis. Everybody. Bowling. I'm sure there's bowling coaches, although I've never met one. But the point is, they have coaches for a lot of good reasons, right? Now ask yourself, have you ever got a mentor? So you can tell me what happened, not in the chat box, so maybe on the group. Tell me what happened with your mentor. Okay? So here's what mentors do. They provide the following. And a mentor and coach, I use them interchangeably, but they provide direction, leadership, coaching, advice, training. They inspire, they support. So when you're having a hard day, you go to your coach or your mentor and you're like, man, this sucks. And then they'll be like, smarten up. You'll get there. motivation, success. So you're starting there, you got a bunch of hurdles, you're the guy on the bottom left, your coach is cheering you on, go, 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 and you're going to hit that finish line. Okay, there's also, the one I wanted on here was accountability, because when you have somebody in your corner and you tell them you're going to do something, they're going to bug you until you do it. So that's a benefit, a big, big benefit. So you think a mentor would help you? I bet you're nodding your head yes right now. So over the past almost hour, I think we're coming up on half an hour now, wouldn't you agree that it's time well spent? I can't cover anything you need in the webinar, even if we had all day. And I don't like those 2-3 hour webinars. Those drive me nuts. I can't sit through them at all. So the special offer that I talked about at the beginning is that you can get everything you need. Does that sound good? Do you mind if I show that to you? Well, here's my special offer, okay? There's a reason I'm doing all this. I've got this course. It's called Gear Bubble Course. And it's all about taking advantage of the Christmas rush and selling products online using Facebook ads without any inventory. So what I did, you can go to the website, PPC Coach, ppc-coach.com/gearbubble-course, and you can take 30% off, okay? This is limited, and the price right now is way too low in my opinion, and it will be raised in the near future, but you can get this for dirt cheap. I put my heart and soul into this. So, but it doesn't matter what I'm saying. Let's go right to the page. Let's show you quickly. What are people saying about this? Well, when you go there, ppc-coach.com, gearbubble-course, you can see it. This guy here, Don Wilson, is the owner of Gearbubble. That's the platform that I really like. And he says, Will Hamerl's been working with us for years. He's been one of our top sellers consistently. I know him as the leading print-on-demand marketer, world-class coach, and Facebook ads expert. This course is a reflection of his expertise and massive amount of experience. The course is easy to follow and simple to view on any device. I can't wait to see how many more successful Gearbubble sellers come from this course. Now, he is a friend of mine, but that's not why I use his platform. I go with people that I trust and people that I know. So do I make money doing this? Yeah, I do. Okay. Now, but here's the part. What do real buyers of this course think? So this course has been out for a little bit now. It's still very up to date, and I do update it as well. But you can go here and you can click on these videos from, these are people who actually bought the course, but we can read through a couple. So I'm not going to play those right now, but we can read through a couple here. Here's a guy. This is in the Facebook group where they post these. It works. Made my first sale today using these Facebook strategies. It was from an intermediate campaign, so I would recommend those for sure. I did test and do the beginner campaign on the same ad which built up social proof first. Thanks, Will Hamerl, for sharing your wisdom. Love these. First sales are awesome. Hi, Will. Just finished your GB course. I've gone through quite a few Facebook ad courses, spending a good amount of both time and money. Yours is by far the best. They clarified a lot of things I was always confused about. Thanks. Love that. Got my first 2 sales from the process, ready to scale. Love it. So he's following the system that I just showed you. Ian. These training videos are short but packed with info. Has to be the best Facebook advertising system and training I've seen so far, which means I've wasted some money on those other courses. I love this guy. Time to put that behind me and forge ahead with the I Will Succeed system, and he tagged me in it. I thought that was kind of neat. Jenny, getting her first couple sales there. Brainerd, GB course is amazing, exactly what I needed. Anyway, you can see there's a couple on here, a couple more. So there's a lot of information on here. And I should actually update this because I have a couple more that I can put on there. So you may have some of these now. Questions. I'm open to them. Well, like I said, go to that free Facebook group. Just type PPC Coach into Facebook. You'll see the page, and then you'll see the group. Join the group. Love to chat with you there. Support you, help you, do anything I can. Whenever I run these, I give some homework too. So for this webinar, I'm going to give you some homework. I challenge you to go and get your copy of my course. And I want to give you 30% off. So use coupon code 30OFF at checkout. You get 30% off. Like I said, it doesn't last forever. That's a limited time offer. And if you're watching this and the offer has expired, then I apologize. If the price has gone up, I apologize. Not much I can do about it. I did warn people. So I do hope you benefited from this. I do hope you got something out of it. I hope you can take some time out of your day to go check out the course. I think it's one of my best ones yet. By far, I'm getting a lot of great feedback, but the key is I want you to be my next success story. So please go in there so that I can put your success story on my page too with everybody else. All right? Have a great day, night, wherever you are, and we'll see you in the Facebook group. Thank you.